Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is a real quick video of my kitchen for fall. I knew I had to hurry up and get it out because it's almost time for me to start decorating for Halloween, and time has gotten away with me. So right here in this little shelf, I thought I would come in this door. I just have it styled with a sign that ended up staying there. I did not intend for that to go there. I hung it there to get it out of the way one day and I left it. I kind of like it. So the picture of Dawson is sepia tone, and it's actually snowflakes. And I took that picture in the front yard when he was about 4 or 5. And it didn't get taken back down after Christmas in the winter. So anyway, it's sepia, so it goes pretty well. And then that's a picture of us, Bill and I, when we were like super young. And I like the burlap on it, so I tucked it up there too. I don't have a ton of stuff in the kitchen just because I want it to be functional. I did find this really pretty black and white towel recently at TJ Maxx, and I thought it would transition well into my Halloween decor. So I've got it out. So you can see, excuse me, I don't have a lot of cabinet countertop space. So I'm careful about, what I do put out. And I have out more than I typically do, to be honest with you, because we just got the candy corn. And so the guys wanted it on the counter, so that's where it is. Then the cookie jar is actually how I hide away Saki's doggy treats. And then I have a new diffuser, and I like the way it looks. I think it's shut off now. I've got to refill it. And I need to get a bigger size, but I don't want to spend $100 on one. So if you have suggestions for that, leave those below for me. So I found my fall bucket list on Pinterest for free. There's lots of people that offer great deals like that. Sometimes you have to subscribe, and other times that they just let you print it. So that's how I got that. And then since it's inside glass, I'm just taking a marker and I'm going to check off those things. And I thought that my niece and nephew would enjoy that too, because they're still little. And I need to put one up for Halloween when I get my Halloween decor out. On this side, I have just a style tray, like a cake stand. And then this plant is new for me. I kept the little, Belgian waffle plant. I kept the little tab to help me make sure I took care of it. I have noticed a little bit of a crunchy leaf over here. I've got to work on it some. But I have to water it every 5 to 7 days. It is an indoor plant. I got that one at Lowe's, and I just got me a terracotta pot, and I wanted a saucer. I think this one's really a little too big for that one, but for some reason, I don't know why I picked up the wrong one. I don't know if I couldn't find a smaller size. I can't remember now. But here are my essential oils that I'm trying. These are by Eden's Garden, and I've only bought 4. I've got some more in the mail because I came out with their fall scents. So I'm excited about trying those. I like these because they're organic, and I felt like they were safer than putting anything else in the air. And, I don't know. I'm still learning about those, but the different combinations are really cool. And I have a chart that I printed out off of Pinterest too, and it tells you how to mix up for the different fall scents. Over here, I just styled my tier tray, really simple. I just put my mugs on it, and then a little candle, a little pumpkin, and then any of my candles that I'm not burning at the time, I do like to use those in my decor sometimes. I have another plant. The funny thing is about my little mister is I actually found that at Dollar General. I had ordered one from somewhere else, and then it went out of stock. So I found that one for hardly nothing. Not crazy about the gold. I know some people love it, and that's okay. It looks good at this time of the year, but typically I'm silver or tarnished silver or pewter. Even my doorknobs, when we built the house, oh gosh, more than 20 years ago, they're like a pewter color, and I still love them. This tray was a happy find. It was $9, I think, and it's really big, and it had all the colors I wanted in my kitchen. It has kind of that teal blue, and then I was bringing in the orange and the burgundy too, so I just tucked a little burgundy book there. So I can have kind of a variety of colors this year. I didn't want just one color palette. I wanted to be able to embrace whatever colors I liked at the time. And that picture up there at the top, sorry about my finger, the picture at the top came from Wayfair. And last year I was going really big on farmhouse. for Christmas. So it had that red barn, and I got it sometime in the fall. I don't know if it's still available, but it has a lot of fall colors in it, but then it also has, and the color's a little bit off in the video. It has really good colors. I love the painting. So I have a few pumpkins and sentimental things tucked in. This is a good little tip. So I have some fairy lights tucked in here too for nighttime. But this is just a wreath, and I do that from time to time. I use them if they're not hanging somewhere. They give a little pop of color like that. And it's easier maintenance than having to keep the plants alive. But I've been really wanting some plants in my kitchen especially. So we're gonna give it a try and see how it goes. I love, this came in a pear from Wayfair. It's enormous. I don't know if you can tell that, but I love that lantern, and I'll style it different ways. I have to figure out what I'm gonna do with it for Halloween. I'm not sure. So this piece of furniture has moved around a lot, and I've debated, one day I'm probably gonna paint it, but for now I kind of like that dark color in here. It kind of grounds the room, and I can't beat the storage. Like, I love the storage. So this table I got on Facebook Marketplace, and I think I paid $60 for it. I've got this is any Sloan gray paint. I believe it's the one that's French gray or something like that. And I did a light coat. I did not do it solid, and I did that purposefully. I wanted it to be able to distress easily. And then I sealed it with 3 or 4 coats of her wax, and it's lasted for years. Only recently has it shown quite a bit of wear. Bill accidentally dripped candle wax all over it. And then where we hit our feet, hit it at the bottom, where we rest our feet when we're eating. Some of the legs are showing wear and some of them aren't. So I've got some new paint, and I'm gonna give it a fresh coat. But once again, I'm not gonna try to be, like, it's almost like a wash. It's how I did this one. I didn't try to do it solid. I will have to do a thicker coat this time, I think, to cover up some of the damage. And then I might can sand that off. I'm not sure. I'll figure that out as I go, because it won't be a complicated project. I'm going to keep that really simple. Feel sure that I got my stools off of Amazon, and this arrangement is from last year, and then I just tucked in a little extra stuff. All of this would have probably come from Hobby Lobby. I added a game board to give it just a little lift and some fun. And here's a good tip for arrangements. So this container has a really big mouth. So I've got either a mason jar or something like that tucked down in here. So that way it kind of contains it, and it has more structure. It's not flopping around everywhere. Now, if you can't fit like a mason jar, if you have like a bud vase, sometimes how you get like a flower or something and just a really small bud vase, I always try to keep at least one of those around just for things like that. And my favorite still is this one. Like the foliage and the berries are just so realistic. And I shopped yesterday around, and still I love the greenery and the florals from Hobby Lobby. Time and again, they're just really, really good quality. So yeah, that's where all that came from. And I thought you might want to see the light that came from Lowe's. We added that last year. It was time. So there's the finish on it. I love the finish. The beads even have some texture to them. I think I accidentally turned my phone off. The bakery sign we made, and scrap lumber, and then I bought the letters at Hobby Lobby, and I just painted them black, because every time I found a sign the right size, it kept selling out, and I never could find one that was a good price. So that's when we finally decided we would just make one, and we did. Turned out really good. And this little table I've had for several years. It was one of my first chalk painting projects. And the top was really damaged. Like you would have to know how to inlay wood veneer to fix it, and at that time I had not researched it. I have some since then, but I still haven't tried it. I've just been researching it. So this, I believe, is going to be a folk art gray color. It might be called French something too. Folk art has held up beautifully for me. I did do a little bit of white here and there on this one, and then I also lightly sanded the edges and distressed it. So that's another tip, is if you know you really live in your home like we do with ours, with a teenager and a dog and a cat and just life in general, I like to do a little bit of distressing, so that way if it does get nicked, it's not a big deal. But the thing about chalk paint is it's very easy to go in and touch up, whereas latex is much more complicated. So that's my take on chalk paint. So I'm going to back up a little bit so we can try to get a better view. It's really hard to film. I do not need to be on the video. It's really hard to film at this time of the day. But there's not going to, later on in the afternoon, it's going to be so bright in here, I couldn't do it then either. So I thought, and do not look in my dining room because it is a hot mess in there. So the chickens for sale sign, I had seen it online, and it's another one of those things where I got the email saying, okay, now it's out of stock. So I found it somewhere else. And since we have chicken houses, I thought that was appropriate, but it's actually just sitting up there. I have not actually nailed it to the wall. Maybe when I get out on my Christmas to start adding stuff, maybe I'll get up there and do that. And so it's just sitting there because I debated whether or not to decorate up here, because I haven't many years ago, and I haven't except for my Christmas. And now it's close enough to me starting Christmas decorations that I'm not going to put anything up there, but I do like that space. And then there's a little bit of my hallway that you can see. That picture frame is not necessarily fall, but it's neutral enough that it works. But I'll give you that tour. I'll try to remember to give that tour when I do the whole house tour, because it will have a few things in there. Some's already done, and then one container in there. I have not decided what I wanted. This is a lot of floral for me. I don't usually have this much floral going on. This is actually something that someone has asked me to make for them, and I just have it sitting here on the table for now. So I don't want it to look, as Bill says, like a florist. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I want it to be livable and usable, because it's the heart of the home, but it's what takes the, the biggest beating too. So I like the way it's turned out this year. Coffee bar. I made more than one video this morning because I actually cut it off in a bad spot, so I can't remember what I have and haven't told you. So coffee bar, pumpkin spice sign came from Pinterest too. And I've seen this pretty green color. It's almost like a mint. I've seen that somewhere else on someone else's video, but that's TJ Maxx. And then I'm keeping my teas in here, and then just containing the coffee there. Like I said, I try to keep it pretty simple in here because I don't have a lot of counter space. And then that's the way I'm displaying our soap for right now. And I'll end so you can have a little bit of a sneak peek of the family room. I'm really proud of the way it turned out, so that'll be on another video. So that way it's not so long, since my Wi-Fi has such a hard time downloading stuff for me. Thanks guys for stopping by today. Be sure and subscribe and stay tuned, because there's lots more videos to come, including Halloween and Christmas. Yay! Bye everybody.